I think I'm quite emotionally driven. Every sort of challenge I've done, there's been points where I've been very low and equally very high. I think if I'm invested in it in my heart, I do better in everything I've done. Long distance cycling now, I seem to do a bit of everything. Time trialling is probably my favourite. I love that it's a race against the clock and it's kind of you in your head battling yourself. It's kind of like channeling an inner demon to force yourself to go further, faster and harder. Do a bit of off-road gravel riding, road cycling, kind of a bit of everything, to be honest with you. And I think actually mixing it up that is much more fun. It's much more interesting to me. There's two main goals and challenges for 2018, and one of those is the National 24 time trials. I didn't have a very good year last year at that, just for numerous reasons. One being the weather. I mean, to put it into perspective, it was the worst I think I've ever ridden in, on big wide A roads, lorries coming past you, lots of surface water. I think there was about 20 something that finished the race. I think so many of us just weren't prepared for exactly what was going to happen. For me personally, this kind of is that, going back to the emotional things, I need to go back and tick that off. And then the next sort of major goal, which is a month later, pretty much to the day, is the Silk Road mountain race, which is 1,700 kilometres off-road in pretty much in the middle of nowhere. I still don't quite know how to pronounce the name of the place it's in, but that's going to be a complete different sort of challenge, equally as tough. There's a lot of elevation in it, and as I say, it's off-road. Also, the fact that it's the first year of the race, being there with someone else, I think will be incredibly important, because a lot of people don't know what's going to happen. I'm doing it in the pairs category with the chap that built my bike that I'm doing on, so Rob Quirk. And Rob said to me, do you fancy doing it as a pair? And I thought, actually, Rob's very, very good at like bike packing, much better than me. And he builds bikes, so if anything goes wrong with the bike, kind of covered. I think with Silk Road, because it's so different, I've been spending a hell of a lot of time getting used to riding off-road, doing long distance gravel rides with lots of climbing. Now's the kind of time to refine and check everything. The essentials, I guess, with cycling kit, it's going to be maybe 2 pairs of bibs. Good quality pad in the bibs is really, really important to make sure that you're not going to get any chafing or any uncomfort when you're out riding. One jersey, one base layer, arm warmers, leg warmers, a gilet of some form, and a very lightweight rain jacket. If your kit's not up to scratch, you're not going to perform. It's really simple. Biggest bit of advice I would say for someone who wants to ride over 200 kilometres is make sure that you're comfortable on the bike. That for me is fundamental of everything I do, is comfort. Comfort makes you faster, especially over long distance stuff. My second biggest advice would probably be make sure you eat correctly and drink correctly. If you're doing long distance stuff, you need to make sure you're fueling the fire. If you don't fuel the fire goes out. I think having done 107, it helps a lot with Silk Road, because for me, it's that emotional element of it. I know, having done that, very much how bad I felt at points, and I know how to cope with that and to deal with that physically and mentally. If you wanted to do longer distance riding and you feel that there's some kind of barrier stopping you doing that, I'd say a really good starting point is just to break it down in your head. If you start to try and break down that long distance in your head into smaller, manageable chunks, it becomes much more easier to understand, and actually you don't necessarily think you're riding so far. Whenever I've done 24-hour stuff, I break things down into 4-hour blocks, and for me 4 hours is really good because I know I'm going to be restocking on food and eating something hot. If you can break that down like that, it doesn't necessarily feel like you're riding so far. I think another thing, if you're wanting to get into it, it's really good to go and do it with friends. Long distance riding with friends is a really good way to start, and you can start by doing 100k and then up it to 200. As you get more confident, try and do it all as one. And that's when you start to realise actually it's not as hard as you think it is. Blah 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 blah. Let's start again.